Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I have actually just realized that our man, Chen Peng, can now be granted leadership of his party. So we're going to do that. He's got a much nicer suit now. And that makes our scholar officials market liberals. And that means we can get up to a whole bunch of nonsense. First of all, we can get off of traditionalism and into laissez-faire, which will be very nice. So in order to make that happen, I'm going to boot the rural folk straight out of the government. They're going to be very salty about it. But it is what it is. And now, I could go to interventionism. But laissez-faire is really, really going to kickstart our economy. And I think that is exactly what the doctor ordered. Obviously, well, no one would be against, the absolutist movement would be against going to interventionism. Laissez-faire, they'd be actually more upset about laissez-faire. But, you know, fuck them. Stop being absolutists, idiot. This is also going to save the government a lot of money. It also means that I don't desperately need romanticism anymore. So we'll get back to working on stocks. We might still get romanticism spreading. There's something spreading. What do we have spreading in, it's got to be one of these two. It's stock exchange. All right, so we've done ahead stock exchange spreading. So this is going to be good. So actually, we'll work on currency standards. That'll let us get per capita taxation, which we'll probably go to next. Let's get started. We are about to free the economy from its chains. This is going to be really, really good. You're going to see mass investment of a kind not seen before. I've not seen such investment. Sorry, any Gauntlet Dark Legacy fans in here are real ones who will understand. I think I'm going to put the gold mines. I queued in more gold mines, and they're going to be next. After this, in between the gold mines and the new and delightful law that we're passing, we should be rolling in dough. Just absolutely chock full of cash. And that means we can spend more of it on the military. A good vintage. The wine produced in Shanxi has been lauded by sommeliers as outstanding. When people say that something ages like wine, they don't always make the distinction between wine and wine. So let me make that distinction. If you can get your hands on a bottle from Shanxi, that bottle can be more than just a good time. It can be an investment. Make this an exclusive product for export, 5% more prestige, or increase production to meet the booming demand, 5% wine building throughput. I'm going to go for the prestige. I'm never in a wine shortage, ever. It's always the right call. A cause without a rebel. Though Namgang Lungshar is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent, Lungshar has started publicly remarking that he may give up on his activism altogether. What's the point? Speakers, when we have any, speak to empty halls and at empty chairs. There's no crowds, no banners. If anyone pays attention at all, they never understand anything we're preaching. What reason is there to stay here? We're all just stuck doing nothing. Perhaps he can find greener pastures elsewhere, he exiles himself. Or no time for timidity, the movement needs drastic change. 33% each of the liberal movement being stronger, weaker, or more active. I do like the liberal movement. We'll do the second one. No time for timidity. Let's see what happened. Can I look at their effects anywhere? Failed relaunch. Oops! Alright, well, these things happen. I risked it, and one day I shall be in receipt of the biscuit. But today is not that day. Private interests are building a gold mine in North Jilin. That's fun. I'm going to build more of those. This is North Jilin, right? Yes. So we'll build 3 more gold mines. And in order to get those building as soon as we can, I'm going to put everything else at the bottom of the queue. One day I'll finish my education reform, but again, not soon. Spread thin. The limited political resources of the literati have made the group's leadership question its membership in both the Anti-Russian Association and the Qing American League. And as for office supplies, on average, the auditor turned down the page to the relevant entry and ran his eyes down the column, 300 crowns per month. For the man who sat across from him, the world began to spin. You're certain? And 1,200 for work-related travel expenses. Excuse me, he managed. Can I have a copy of the manifest? I need to meet with my colleagues at once. There's no reason to remain in the Anti-Russian Association. The literati leave that. Membership of the Qing American League is no longer useful. The literati leave that. Or abandoning either would be unwise. The literati gets minus 20% political strength. I'm going to have them leave the Anti-Russian Association. I don't need an Anti-Russian Association all that much. Russia is aligned with me in many ways. This is very good. 42% success straight out the gate means we have a chance of actually acing this. Standard of living is dropping a little, and that's causing a lot of radicalism. I think I'm going to drop taxes, and we're going to see how that affects our financial situation. Spoilers, the answer is it's going to be bad, but you know, we'll be okay. We got enough for 10 more weeks. We're going to see again what this does to our fragile unity. Again, hopefully we can just get Laissez-Faire passed within a reasonable timeline, and then we can all be happy together. The art of doing nothing. Though previously opposing the Laissez-Faire laws, Namgang Lungshar has considered the scholar official's position and instead offers support. While speaking with constituents on matters of law, one must first master the art of appearing to do nothing. While you do everything behind whispers and masked men? Indubitably. My options are welcome their support. It makes the scholar officials and Namgang Lungshar a little bit more powerful. It increases their interest group effectiveness and gives us 10% enactment chance. Or keep a sharp eye, they're up to something. Makes Lungshar less popular and gets us 5% enactment chance. I'm going to do the first one. I don't really see a problem with that. Now, once this gets passed, we're going to need to significantly reduce the amount that we do economically. I think we can still afford to finish these gold mines. The steel mills we're going to need to slow down on. The universities only we can build. The artillery foundries we'll just need to get rid of more or less completely. The lead mines I'm also going to cut in half. There will be a time when I'll be able to convert production methods, but that time is not yet. 51%. I'm jonesing for a success. Absolutely jonesing. I've got decisions available. I can remove the ban on opium. No thank you, sir. The ban on opium has been very effective. And I'm in the path to liberalism. So let's take a look at market liberal so you can see kind of what that's about. Our fella is market liberal. That means he likes laissez-faire. He likes interventionism, okay, but he's against all other forms of economy. For children's rights, he likes child labor. He's against compulsory education and restrictions on child labor. For trade policy, he likes free trade. He dislikes isolationism, and he opposes mercantilism and protectionism. For labor rights, he's against workers' protections and regulatory bodies. There should be a third line item in here about no workers' rights. That isn't there right now. And then for land reform, he likes commercialized agriculture. And he's strongly against collectivized agriculture and serfdom. He's neutral on tenant farmers and homesteading. So we might be able to get to commercialized agriculture, which would strengthen the... Uh-oh. Okay, Great Qing destabilizes. Alright, so... Our mishandling of affairs has delegitimized our rule, causing the country to inch closer to total collapse. So, 5 out of 5. Let's see what that does. Okay, progress bar reaching 0, so let's see if it's a monthly ticker. And if it's a monthly ticker, then we'll just need to go into austerity. But again, we'll see. We'll see what it does. Alright, new month. No movement. Okay, so maybe it's not so bad. Okay, well, it is what it is. Again, once we get laissez-faire, all these cash flow issues are going to sort themselves out. They're in consideration. Very nice. Not sure what 5 out of 5 means. I guess what this is we have won the Opium Wars, So maybe we're balanced with having gone into debt? Maybe that's it. Anyway, here's hoping our cash flow improves as we build more of these delightful gold mines. Is Lanfang building up the gold mines in their territory? Not really. Oh my gosh, there's gold mine capacity in Brunei as well. Well, I guess we'll have to build those too. Because I believe because they're in a customs union with us, those gold mines will flow directly into our treasury as well. Oop. What am I doing here? Low construction efficiency, but not that low. Okay. All right, things are looking pretty okay with that. I'm feeling pretty all right. I might raise taxes again. We'll see. We'll kind of feel it out. Economy's still a little small. I mean, it's smaller than it's been. It's still the largest in the world, but British Raj is catching up, which I don't love. Great Britain is going after the shogunate for foreign investment rights at a treaty port. Sadly, we can't bully them. I suppose I could go after my own... How funny would it be? They're going for a treaty port in the Ryukyus. How funny would it be if we conquered the Ryukyus and then the British couldn't take it? Goldfields depleted, the ones in North Jilin. I'm just going to say unfortunate once again. And then I'm going to queue in more mines. But we're in a gold mining boom, friends. We're just building so many gold mines. It's gold mines for days out here. I should make sure that I've got enough infrastructure in North Jilin to tolerate this many gold mines. I think we should be fine. I think there are maybe 2 a pop. Yeah, 2 a pop. Oh, actually, no, I will need some ports. Some harbors. Russia sides with the Japanese shogunate. All right, interesting. And we're in adoption. Wonderful. Just going to slide the ports in the top of the queue there. And that means we're very close to having laissez-faire, and that means our cash flow is going to be just great. It's going to be perfect. Awesome, in fact. Isaias Hesse has been exiled from Mecklenburg. Interesting. Oh, now the British want support. You give me a state, but only one in Africa. That's not useful to me. Diplomatic pacts. Would you give me a pile of money? No. I don't need a trade agreement. I don't need any of these subjects. Conquer state. I don't desire to rule over myself a Japan. So none of that's going to be really all that useful to me. That'll be fine. I want to rule over Siam. Shogunate backs down. No, interesting. Well, it is what it is. They've traded... Where's that treaty port? I mean, I know it's in the Ryukyus, but where is it? Somewhere down here? Is this whole thing the Ryukyus? No. This is Kyushu. It's part of Kyushu. This is the Ryukyus. That's so curious. And that's part of Formosa. Where's the treaty port? Am I stupid? Am I terrible at looking at things with my eyeballs? That's okay. We'll find it. We'll find it someday. We are starting to pay interest. And in fact, we're paying quite a bit of interest. So hopefully these gold mines will be worth it in the long run. But again, once we got laissez-faire, the economy is going to be great. It's going to be full to bursting. We're going to have so much frickin' investment. We're going to be chock full of investment. Maybe I should pause government construction just for the moment. No, I'm not going to. I'm gonna soldier on through. It's worth it. Plus, I'm just paying my own industrialists. It's worth it. It's a subsidy. It's an economic subsidy. Beautiful. That is good. And I can found a company. Do I have a gold company? Let's start there. Do I have a gold company? Looks like I do not. At least not one available right now. Do have one available. I need building levels to transfer to the company, which I currently have. Not enough. I need these mines in North Jilin, which I'm currently building, or will be building very soon. So as you can see, we're using much less of the construction queue than we had been using before. In fact, we're using almost none now. I seem to have given myself a huge shortage of bureaucracy, which of course is causing a giant money problem. Stonks! So, I'm going to need to deal with that. Each layer of bureaucracy produces, I want to say, 50 construction or bureaucratic capacity here. Where's my government admin? Here, 50, yes. So, in order to get over this 3,000 government administration deficiency, I'm going to need to produce 60 government admins? Yeah, 60 government admins. Alright, so where are states that have the largest shortages of government administration? And a lot of infrastructure available. Let's put 11 in Chongqing. Let's see. Hunan's got plenty of capacity. Put 10 more in Hunan. Eastern Guangdong will put at least 2. And we'll put 12. It's gonna be all the infrastructure there, but it's a we could build ports. And then 5 in Western Guangdong. So that's what? This is 33 plus the 5, so that's 36. So I need 24 more. Ningxia. Just check each and every one of these states, make sure there are places where I can effectively use more government admin. Ningxia, I certainly can. We'll do 6 here. Sichuan, I definitely can. 2 here. Xi'an, I almost certainly can. Yep. Most certainly. We'll put 7 here. That means I'm building how many? How many government admins am I building? 53. And then finally, we'll build 6 in Henan. And that should be just about enough. I'm going to throw all of these in at the top of the queue. This is going to take forever, but it's also going to provide a significant increase to our cash flow. I think I may go ahead and cancel a bunch of this other construction. In fact, I think I am just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave the universities in there, and then worry about the other stuff later. No, I'll leave the steel mills in there because I need to kickstart those. Do I want to leave? I'm going to leave some of the gold mines to be produced by the private sector because they definitely can. I'm going to leave the ports to be produced in Jilin, at least one level, and the rest of these gold mines, and those will be built first and quickly. At least a little bit quickly, and then we'll get started on the other stuff. Actually, going to put 1 government admin in here. We'll split our efforts in half. So again, this is one of the things about this, the way this game works, is that now that we're in Laissez-Faire, very little of the investment pool can be used by the government. It's all going to mostly be used by the other stuff. But I'm going to increase taxes, and that's going to actually get me positive cash flow, and that's very good. And between the gold mines and the government admin, we're going to be doing a lot better. Mutual investment pact with Spain. You know what? Sure. No, I don't want my guys investing over there. I need my guys investing here in China. Building up industry and such like as that. That's the important part. I'm going to put in another consumption tax. Tobacco. It's not much, but it's honest work. Again, over a long period, this is going to help me deal with my interest issue. So as you can see, even that small amount of government admin increased my cash flow significantly. So maybe it's better to build these up. Now I'm just being indecisive and silly here. Let's build 5 more levels. And once we built 5 more levels of government admin, maybe we'll be in a slightly better place financially. And then we'll see how things go. How much am I getting from Joseon? Probably my bankroll from Prussia is still kicking around, and my payments from Joseon are still there. So this is still pretty good. All right, who's fighting? This is Hamburg, I think. Yeah, that's Hamburg. I couldn't possibly be arsed. China does not have any interests in the petty squabbles of microstates in Europe. That far-flung region of the world. Anti-Russia Association demands action. It's requested that we establish an embargo against Russia. Successfully acting on the proposal will gain our government significant goodwill from the lobby. And to those who would refuse and prefer preserving the status quo, there was no hesitation. His response resounded well rehearsed because it was. This was a proactive man, one who spent hours pacing his chambers and anticipating attacks to come. My reply would be that we should never have allowed them to become so close to us in the first place. A friendship built upon deceit is nothing at all, and the goodwill gained from it, illusory. We'll look into this. That's fine. I'll appease my interest groups. Liberal movement organizes in Guangxi. Wow, Russia's so large mad. We'll just go ahead and embargo them. Organizers affiliated with the liberal movement have embarked on a focused campaign to inspire support for census suffrage in Guangxi. Residents of every region in the world like to say that their home has a long and unique history of tight-knit community. The organizer almost agreed. The problem, of course, was that said community did not often extend to outsiders. He had been thrown on his ear more times than he could count, but he persisted nonetheless. If he could introduce the right phrases to the right circles, perhaps even an idea that had been rejected out of hand at first would begin to find purchase. There are plenty of willing ears in Guangxi, stronger liberal movement. Guangxi gets pop strength increase and extra radicals from political movements. Or they must be concerned with farmer grounded things. Does not increase the strength of the liberal movement. And Guangxi pops become more radical and higher political strength, but only half as much. I'm going to say there are plenty of willing ears. A stronger liberal movement is going to be useful. Hey! Lobby demand completed. I am saying that as though it is some kind of surprise when we all know it isn't. We have an infrastructure shortage in North Heilongjiang, and I've already maxed out ports. So that was dumb of me. I'm very smart and cool. We just got the ability to go to per capita taxation, so who would be happy with that? The petite bourgeoisie and the armed forces, I think. And how much would this change cash flow? They would reduce it. Wow, that's fascinating. I've never been in a situation where going to per capita taxation would reduce cash flow. That's quite curious. Okay, well, we'll keep that one in the back pocket for now. I didn't even realize. That's so very strange. We'll leave things where they are. Let me see. This is doing a little bit better. Okay, maybe not so much. Okay, we're using more of the construction pool now. I think the construction queue right now. So as you can see, our investment pool is only building one thing. Look at the size of the increase in there. Look how much cash is flowing into that investment pool now that we've got a fully functioning economy type. It's very, very good. And obviously it's costing the government a lot of money to be using all this construction still. But, you know, once the investment pool gets its shit together, we'll be doing great. And anyway, it's good to have more investment so that we can finish out these construction projects. Particularly these ports in North Jilin, which will make it viable for hopefully the private sector to build a bunch of freaking gold mines. I'm almost thinking about switching the extraction economy things over to here to increase cash flow, but actually now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I need to encourage resource industry in these areas anymore. But I do need road maintenance in North Heilongjiang because we need the infrastructure here to function so that these gold mines can be able to bring in enough other resources to hire. Alright, so we finally finished most of those ports in North Jilin. We're building up our government admin now. I'm sorry, I'm not doing any wars. I've been wanting to do wars. I suppose I could do a war to make Siam a tributary, but I want to get my government admin back in the black first. Because once that's done, my cash flow situation will be a lot better. Then I can go back down to middling taxes, which will make the people happier. And happier people that are not overtaxed makes a good country. It makes a country where everything is doing just fine. Beautiful. All right. So as you can see, we got more items in the private construction queue, and that's using more and more of the construction capacity. And obviously that means that there is more cash flowing into the treasury because I'm spending less on construction. And now I know what you're thinking. DegenCat, obviously that doesn't mean you're going to increase the size of the construction sector in order to be able to put more constructions into effect. And you're mostly right. I'm going to try to resist, at least until I'm back in the black, because I want to have a reserve. And playing as China, I don't just want to have a reserve, I have to have a reserve, because my fragile unity is dependent on having a reserve. As you can see, my economy is growing super duper fast now, which is very good for the country overall. The thing about keeping your, the thing about this thing is not being able to use. I know I'm not the smartest player with respect to my the national gold reserves, but not being able to use the gold reserves is actually really, or being able to use credit is actually really a tough penalty. Against the odds. Despite not enjoying full rights under Qing law, some wealthier Yuanzhu Min people, Yuanzhu Min people are Polynesian of indigenous oceanic heritage, have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. If we want our children to have a future, this is where we should raise them, he said. I want them to live somewhere safe. She crossed her arms. Have you seen the looks we get? When people talk about being safe, they don't mean safe for us, they mean safe from us. We may need some new regulations to keep the peace, extra radicalism, and discriminated pops. 2% of Yuanzhu Min pops become more radical, or they fairly earn their success and all that entails. Saltier and weaker petite bourgeoisie. You know what? Fuck the petite bourgeoisie. Get out of here. Those guys are nerds. By which I mean they love racism. Oh, I should figure out what to frickin' research next. I thought I had a bunch of stuff queued in. Let's research banking. We'll do banking and then we'll do romanticism. And then, is there anything in the tier 2 society tree that I want? I definitely want central archives. Central banking would be very nice. But I think I'm going to go for egalitarianism, because that's going to unlock better suffrage laws. I also might do dialectics, because that's going to unlock a better universities production method. And that is going to be really, really useful. Loving this number. Again, I'm not going to hold here for too long, because I'm only producing this number on account of the fact that I'm taxing the land all to shit. And lower taxes is generally better. In fact, now that I've developed a gold reserve, let's just go ahead and hit the medium taxes button. We've still got plenty of ground to cover in terms of bureaucracy. Now the risk here is I'll outrun my paper production capabilities, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think my paper production facilities have a lot of ability to flex upward and well, not really. No, they don't. So I might need to. Well, I'll just. I'm a laissez-faire economy, so I'll just have to rely on the private sector to cover that, and hopefully the private sector will produce enough paper to do all the things that I want to do. Prussia, mutual foreign investments agreement. You know what? That will be fine. Portugal's domineer. Portugal. Excuse me, sir. What are you talking about? You're a minor. I'm a great power. There's no way you could possibly be domineering towards me. But more importantly, what really matters is how Britain's feeling. Britain's feeling fine. In fact, we're going up to cordial. We might be going up to amicable. And going up to amicable with Great Britain would be just fine. I'm not going to have an alliance with them because ultimately we're going to split the earth in two between the two of us. But I'm happy to be going up to a reasonable amount. My nerds, this is going to sound silly, but I'm almost considering actually increasing the size of the construction sector right now, just in order to get these government admins done. But I think we're close to the end of the episode, so I think I'll probably leave that decision for next episode. We got a huge spike in standard of living here, friends. We're doing really, really well. In fact, I am feeling just jazzed. Oop, need another general. Jazz myself a new general. Ooh. Oh boy, Xian. This man is named the right thing. I don't believe in nominative determinism, but looking and seeing that I had an armed forces guy definitely made me go, oh boy. So I think his name is rightly chosen for the occasion. That being said, we'll get into January. We'll save our game, and then we'll put a pin in the episode. My nerds, I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well, and I will see you on the other side.